Trying to figure out where that's coming from. It's coming from there. All right. Don't usually get this one like that, but it's happening this time. All right, so every so often we'll get one of these technical difficulties. Now we're having one with the lighting, and no matter where, for some reason, the light wants to show up. All right, I got it a little bit better now. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. And this is the last season start for George Thomas Seaver. And it's pretty exciting. And then we're going to look at the stats, and we're going to look at this 83 yearbook, and I'm going to look at a couple of quick synopsis of different players just to get us going. And as you can see, this is the cover of the special 16-page 10th anniversary feature, 1973, that championship season. Pretty cool. And what happened is I ordered this, and it was packed really well, but the mailman stuffed it in my mailbox, and he bent it. So that was a big line down the middle of the book, and that's really disappointing, because I mean this thing has been in perfect shape since 19. I wish you would have sent it in a box. In a box, they wouldn't have been able to bend it. So anyway, that's real disappointing that happened to the book, and I don't know if I can fix it. I'm gonna try to sit some stuff on it and see if I can fix it. But this is my conclusion of my SOM replay of Seaver, 1983 Seaver's comeback to the Mets, his return to the Mets. There he is, Thomas Seaver. He's got a suitcase that says Mets, and then it has a decal that says C, Cincinnati, and then it has Mets over that decal. Pretty funny, so they approached it with some humor. I like that. So here you have the catcher. I believe this is John Stearns. I believe he was a football player. So everybody has a little bit different. So he's got speed. So he's got wings. He can fly. Kimyan has a powerful bat. So he just made a hole in the ground with it. This is a fireman. I guess he is the closer. I think this is Neil Allen. I believe he was the closer, but he was erased by Orozco and Sisk and Carlos Diaz, and he moves to an 83. He gets traded to the Cardinals for Keith Hernandez. But anyway, let's take a quick peek at what we got here. Very cool book. As you can see, it has some information on the coaches. Bamberger is the it gives you a little information when you consider that Bamberger had never been associated with a losing team since he began his career as coach or manager in the 1968 with Baltimore. It's easy to see why he chose to return as skipper of the Mets in 1983. 82 was a season filled with disappointment. So I see that he says that he's 57 years old, and he leaves the Mets in the middle of the season, 83. Here is the Seaver history. It starts off in 67, tells you all about his different accomplishments, 3 Cy Young Awards, 200 strikeouts for the 7th straight season. 75, he wins another Cy Young. 76, 9th consecutive season he strikes out 200 or more. NL record, it stands today. Then in 77, he gets traded to the Reds. And 83, he is back at Shea. Look at that. Love this. Tells you the whole history there. Here's Neil Allen. Talks about rave reviews for Neil Allen. Was forced to the sidelines last year with a sore right elbow on August 6th. It's no coincidence that the Mets dropped 20 of their last 23. One of the most valuable players on the Mets. Neil missed nearly 1/3 of the season. Then you have Wally Bachmann. Bachmann hit a solid 272 last year, his first full season in the big leagues. His season was cut short following a game in August 13 when he broke his collarbone in a freak bicycle accident. That's funny. Didn't know that. Bob Baylor, value to the Mets. You look no farther than the facts. Bob started 86 games in 82, 40 games at second, 30 at shortstop, 16 at third. Appeared in 4 games in the outfield. He had 462 as a pinch hitter, stole a career-high 20 bases in 23 attempts. And his .359 batting average versus left-handers was second in the league. Bob Baylor. He's celebrated here. So this is pretty cool, and it goes on and on and on and tells you about all about all the starters. So this is great to learn about the team, and I'll be using this because I'm going to replay probably this 83 season a couple more times. I love that. They make a real kind of funny caricature. This is that championship season, 1973, Kuzman and Tug McGraw, John Matlack. And man, who's this guy? Can't remember who this guy is. Long Island Savings Bank from New York, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. I used to have a little card, savings card, with the Long Island Savings Bank in Astoria. There it is, Astoria Ditmars. It was right there. Astoria 30th Avenue. That's the bank I used to go to. I'm from this area. Growing up. Chronology of the events. It tells you all about the 1973 season. You got to believe. Collision in the outfield. Yogi, patience and perseverance. How the Mets were assembled. Tells you how they got all the players together. So real cool stuff. You can get this for like $4. So if you look for stuff back time, and then it has all the different baseball cards for the 73 Mets. How cool is that? Love this. It shows a brawl. Pete Rose and Buddy Harrelson in 73 playoffs. Willie Mays, Twilight for Mays. The end of Willie Mays finishes it up with the Mets, number 24. And then chronology of events, championship season. Wayne Garrett, Teddy Martinez, Jim McAndrew. I think that's that picture, and that was in the picture of the pitcher was McAndrew. And this is pretty late now. It's about midnight. I wanted to do this now. I feel like doing it. I want to get started fresh tomorrow with something different. So anyway, real cool. You can pick this up if you're into the Mets. Very nice. Just cost a few dollars, $6, $7, $8. You can get this. Just make sure they put it in a box. I'm going to try to sit some heavy books on it, see if I can fix that, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if you can see that. There's a line right through it. Real disappointing. See that? Terrible. They did that. And they did that in my mailbox. It was actually had cardboard on top, cardboard underneath, and the guy just stuck it in there. My mailbox is like this probably. So he just went blip, and the whole thing bent right down the middle. So this is 37 years old, and the mailman couldn't get it here safely. All right, so let's get started here. Game. We're starting our game in the top of the fourth inning. It's 3-1 Mets. Seaver's on the mound. He's facing Gary Carter. Gary Carter will soon be a teammate of Tom Seaver, the Tom Terrific. All right, so we're actually rolling on it's quiet. It's a little bit late, so I'm rolling on a computer using the baseball dice roller for Stratomatic. And that's going to be a 3-12. So that's going to be off Carter, a 3-12, and that's lined and caught by the third baseman, Brooks. So Carter hit it right on the screws, but right at Brooks at third base, one away. Tim Wallach is next. Tim Wallach is 0 for 1, and that's a 6-8, and that's a 1-8 split die single. That's line base hit, left center field. Foster comes over and cuts it off, gets it into Baylor, who's playing shortstop. Let's say 1-out single for Tim Wallach, and Tim Wallach will try to steal. And nope, he gets a 9. That's not going to do it. Angel Salazar, I had to make his card because he only had about 30 at-bats. Here's a swing. That's going to be a 6 and a 7, and that is ball 4. So Salazar walks. That puts runners on first and second. It's 3-1, New York. Bill Gullickson now. With 1 out, Bill Gullickson is going to swing away. That's a 1-11, and that is strike 3, and Gullickson strikes out for out number 2. And we go to top of the order. Timmy Reigns, he's 1 for 2 today. He's always trouble for the Mets. And that's a 2-3, and a 2-3 is popped up. And this is on the left side. Brooks and Baylor. Baylor in the outfield grass. He waits for it and makes the catch. And that retires the side. We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. All right, for the Mets is going to be Bob Baylor, Brian Giles, and Junior Ortiz, the catcher, followed by Tom Seaver. Bill Gullickson is on the mound for the Expos. He was 17 and 12. I could look and see what he is in the replay. 17 and 12. Let's see what he is in the replay. Gullickson. Gullickson in the replay, is 17 and 9. Look at that. His ERA was 3.75. His replay ERA is 2.98. Home runs allowed 19 to 18. So very, very spot on in most instances. He has innings pitched. He has about 20 more innings pitched than he did in actuality. That's according to the game replay, because, of course, I don't simulate the expos. Seaver's right on. He'll end up exactly with the number that he had in reality this time. I was a little short when I did my APBA replay. Hey there, Red Sox fan. Doing a little bit late here, but finishing up on the SOM Seaver replay, and I'm going to compare and contrast the APBA stats to the SOM stats tonight. And I want to finish with this. Then I'm taking a break. I'm going to go into 2 games, inside pitch, a couple of series, and then I'm going to do deep drive, a couple of series. Then I'm coming back using payoff pitch to replay the Seaver season, because I'm going to compare APBA, Stratomatic, and payoff pitch. So you're seeing the first part of that tonight. Bob Baylor steps into the box. He's a right-handed hitter. He's 1 for 1 today with 2 RBIs. Here's the pitch from Gullickson. And I'm using the baseball dice roller. That's a 4-4, and he's a righty. So that's off the pitcher, and that's a fly ball. Right field, Francona drifts under it, squeezes it for the out. 1 down. Brian Giles, second baseman. And that's a 5 and a 6, and that is a fly ball. And that is left center field. Dawson over. 2 down. Andre Dawson, the Hawk. And it's 110. That's off Ortiz's card, Junior Ortiz, and that is going to be line base hit left center field. Dawson gets it into Salazar. And Ortiz, not a base stealer, so he's going to hold. He's kind of a station-to-station type guy. Here comes Seaver. He steps in the box. And that's going to be a 6-5, and that is popped up right side. Stenhouse, the first baseman, a little back. Francona racing in, and Francona calls him off at the last minute for the out, and that retires the side. Mets lead 1. Score none at the end of 4. It is Mets 3, Expos 1. Tom Terrific, his last start of 1983 for the second time. This time we played it with SOM. Hey, guys. Thank you there, Al. Appreciate that, brother. It's Brian Little. Brian Little followed by Andre Dawson and then Stenhouse, a lefty first baseman who really didn't play all that much for the Expos. I had to create his card, as you can see, using the card app. I got to do a short tutorial on how to do that. Brian Little. Here's the pitch to Brian Little. It's going to be off Little's cart, a 2-9er, and that is line base hit to right field. Strawberry gets there and throws it in. Took his time. Big turn by Little, and then but he went back. Strawberry has a little bit. He's getting a little bit of a reputation. This is still his first season, but he's going to start getting a reputation in 84, 85, and by 86, he's just not a very nice human being. If you read a book called The Bad Guys Won, you'll see that he becomes kind of a nasty fellow. Goes to, the popularity goes to his head and starts having one of the poorer starts of his career in 1986. And it's Andre Dawson with a runner at first base. Little is going to try to get the jump. Let's see what we roll. We roll a 11, and he does not get it. Here's the pitch to Andre Dawson from Seaver. And that's a 6. That's off Seaver. 6-5, and that is popped up. Giles and Baylor come together, and Giles makes the catch. 1 away. Next is Mike Stenhouse. And that's a 6-11. That is a ground ball shortstop X. We got an E26. So we roll that's a 13. That's a 13 on an E26, and that is a ground ball. See if Baylor can get to it. I don't know that he can, and he does. And what will it become? It becomes a G1, which is a 6 to Giles for 1. And the throw to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. And they turn it on Stenhouse. And that's going to retire the side. So it is Baylor to Giles to Racich, who's the first baseman. He's replacing Hernandez. I haven't seen him in a couple of games. And with a runner on first, it's a DP43 is what they call it. All right. So it's Gullickson in the bottom of the 5th inning against Mookie Wilson. Here's the pitch to Mookie. That's a 2-3 is lined and caught by Salazar. So a rip off the bat of Wilson went the opposite way. Salazar was playing towards second base, and it went line drive right into Salazar's glove. Next is Hubie Brooks, and Brooks is 0 for 2 today. That's a 2-5er, and that is ripped to short. Backhanded by Salazar. Quick release to first, and that is 2 away. Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry's 0 for 2. Let's look at Strawberry's stats for the season, see how close he got. Strawberry, 21 home runs. He hit 26. He's got 3 games left. RBIs 56 versus 74. Average 245 versus 257. At bats, he's got 20 more at bats. Strikeouts, 20 more strikeouts than he did in reality. 5 fewer stolen bases. Caught stealing exactly the same, 6 and 6. You know, pretty good. I mean, pretty close. Here's the pitch to Darryl. That's a 4-7 off the pitcher. 4-7. That is strike 3, and he blows a fastball. Gullickson reaches back for a little extra and throws a fastball by a flailing Strawberry. For out number 3, we go to the top of the 6th inning. Thomas Seaver. Here's a pitch, and that's a 1-10, and that's line and caught by Racich at first base. There is a lot of lineouts in Stratomatic, I found. A lot more than a lot of games. I don't know if that's realistic. I try to count lineups a couple of times, and I counted a couple of lineups. In Strat, there seems to be a lot of lineouts. Gary Carter. It's a 3-10. That, again, is off the batter card, and that is, and Carter takes one in the ribs. Ouch. Seaver did not intend to hit Gary Carter. No reason for that. Just got away from Seaver, and he checks on Carter, make sure he's all right. And Carter's not rubbing it. He's a tough dude. Gary Carter, the kid. They call him, his nickname on the 86 Mets was Camera. Tim Wallach, here's a pitch, and that is a 2-6. That is ripped to short. Baylor to Giles, throw to first in time. And that retires the side. 6-4-3 double play. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Moving and grooving here. George Foster coming up, and Foster's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Bill Gullickson is on the mound. Here's a pitch. That's a 2-11, and that is popped up. It's going to be Salazar. Ball, and makes the catch. And this is going to be Racich now, a left-handed batter. He's 1 for 2 with a double. And this is a 6, so it's going to be off Gullickson. And he's 6'8". This is line and caught. Another line out to the shortstop. A lot of line outs in Stratomatic. I think half the outs are line outs. Baylor. Bob Baylor. And Baylor today's 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. That's a 5 and a 6. And this is a fly ball. Can of corn for Dawson in center field. And he drifts over, squeezes it for the out. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits. And we go to the top of the 7th, Montreal. Tom Terrific going for a complete game. Let's see if he can get it. A 112, and that's going to be off Salazar. And this is chopped to short. Baylor waits back now, charges, throws on the run, and just gets Salazar by half a step. Salazar turned it up on the way down, but he's thrown out by Baylor's arm. Baylor plays all over the place. He can play second base, third base, shortstop, outfield. Kind of a modern style player. Gullickson now, he's the pitch to Gullickson. That's a 3-7, and that is grounded to second base. Giles, easy hop. Sidearms it to first. 2 away. And it's Timmy Reigns. And that is a 4-5, and he's batting from the left side at 4-5. And that's strike 3, and Seaver blows a 4-seam fastball by Reigns. The high cheese gets Reigns, and that retires the side. We go to bottom of the 7th. We're almost there to the conclusion of the season. Gullickson with the pitch, and that's a 4-10. And that is a catcher X. Catcher Carter's an E2. A lot of charts in this game as well. E2, and that's an 8. And that's not going to be, and we're going to roll, and I believe a 1. Carter, I believe, is a catcher 1. A 1 is a little nubber in front of the plate, and Carter out jumps on it and fires the first, and the throw beats Giles. So it's going to be a 2-3. Gary Carter showing the range, showing off the range, the quickness. And it's Junior Ortiz. Here's the pitch from Gullickson. That's a 5 and an 8, and that is a fly ball. Reigns hooking away from Reigns. Reigns towards the line, and he gets there. Right on the line. That's 2 down, and here's George Thomas Seaver. That's a 6 and a 7, so that's going to be off Gullickson, and that's popped up. Shortstop, Salazar. And that retires the side. We go to the top of the 8th. Tom Seaver still in there for the Mets. He's got to go 8, and then he matches his season output of innings. Little, so he's 1 inning away from that. Brian Little with a 2-5, and that's popped up, this time to the right side. Racich in foul ground, and he waits for it to come down. Makes the catch. Andre the Hawk Dawson. Going to be the 1987 MVP. That's a 3 and a 7. And that is a strikeout. Seaver, curveball, gets Dawson fishing. Swing and a miss at a curveball that fell off the table and ended up in the dirt. Not proud of that swing. And that's a 4-6 against a lefty, Stenhouse. And that is ground ball, second base, E20. E20, that's going to be a 6. And then we're going to roll for the 20. That's a 7. He's a 2. And the 7 is a ground ball fielded by Giles over to first, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the 8th. Moving and grooving in this game. Early retro seasons, the forgotten era, the 70s and the 80s. Games move very quickly, very easy to replay. 70s and 80s ball is very easy to replay. All right, Bill Gullickson against Mookie Wilson. And that's a 3 and an 8, and that's a strikeout. Wilson, downswing. 1 away, Huey Brooks. It's a 6 and a 5, and that is a fly ball, deep right field. Francona on the run, and near the warning track, and makes the catch. Francona got a good jump on that ball, read it right off the bat, and took off after it. Runs it down on the warning track and braced himself, putting out his arm and his shoulder right up against the Geico sign. And it's Darryl Strawberry. That's a 6-9er off Strawberry. That's a 6-9, and that is a ball that's driven off the bat of Strawberry, and that's going to be off the wall. And Francona and Dawson after it. Francona picks it up. Big turn around second by Strawberry, and he goes back quickly with a 2-out double. 3-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. George Foster. And they're going to walk Foster. Intentional walk to George Foster to pitch to Racich. So let's get the intentional walk. I don't have to think about that. Gary Racich, he's a lefty. Here's a pitch, and that's a 6 and an 8 against a lefty, and that is lined and caught by Salazar. Racich went the opposite way, and Salazar was right there to snatch that line drive out of the air. And that retires the side. So it's going to be Francona leading it off here in the top of the 9th. Last licks, 3-1. Tom Seaver. Here's the pitch to Francona. And that's going to be a 6-11, and that's a shortstop X. He's a 26, and we've got a 6. 26 and a 6, and let's see. Hold on one second. Okay. 26 and a 6. Nope, it's not there. And he is a 4 at shortstop, and a 7 is going to be a little ground ball, and Baylor, after it, gets to it, spins, throws the first in the dirt scooped by Racich for out number 1. It's 6-3. It's a ball that Baylor never gave up on. Had a seeing eye hit, had a bleeder written all over it, but Baylor never gave up and threw him out. Throw wasn't perfect, but Racich saved him, scooped it out of the dirt. Carter, 1 out. Seaver's a couple outs away from winning another ball game. 3-11. It's going to be a fly ball driven deep center field. Wilson turns around and runs it down in center field. 2 down, and it's Timmy Wallach. And that's a 6-6. He's a righty, and that is ground ball shortstop X. Here we go again. 10. Baylor's a 26. And a 10, no. And now we're going to see if it gets through. And it does. Base hit. Little ground ball through the hole, and Baylor wasn't able to reach it. Out goes to Foster. Foster throws it in. It's a 2-out single to keep it, brings the tying run to the plate. Salazar, we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Somebody with a little bit more power. Let's take a quick look at the roster, see who we have available. This is Montreal at New York. We are in Shea Stadium. 3-1 Mets. We want Seaver to finish this out. We got Cromartie, we got Oliver. Let's bring in Oliver. Why not? Oh, we got Terry Crowley. We got a bunch of guys that can pinch hit here. Let's see who's got some power. Oliver's got how many? Let's see. Yeah, he hit 8 home runs. Let's do it. All right. Here comes Al Oliver with the pine in his hands, and he steps in the box from the left side. The tying run is at the plate. Al Oliver, longtime Pirate. I remember him as a Pirate. Wallach is on at first base. The score is 3-1. Seaver on the mound trying to complete this game. He's 1 out away from a complete game victory. And we're going to look at the stats. All right, here's a pitch to Al Oliver. That's going to be a 3. That's going to be off Al Oliver and a 9. That's a fly ball, deep right field. Strawberry back to the track, looks up and makes the catch, and that is the ball game. So Oliver made it exciting, got a hold of a Seaver fastball, drove it deep to the Casio sign in right field, and Strawberry made the grab, and that is the ball game. All right, the box score. Let's look at that real quick. Foster had 2 hits, ended the season so far for me at least, because I'm done. 235. Anybody else? Wilson, 277. And we can look at that here. Wait a second. Let me just quickly look at that, how close they were. Start off from the first player, Mookie Wilson. Mookie Wilson batted 276. He finishes the season at 277. Brooks, 251, ends at 233. Strawberry, 257, ends up 245. Foster, 241 ends up 235. Racich doesn't matter. He just played a few at bats. Baylor 250 ends the season at 216. So he underperformed. Giles 245 and it's 240. Ortiz batted 249 and he has 284. And then Seaver 130. I don't know what he has. So anyway, those are some stats there. That was fun. And I finished it finally. I didn't think I was running out of gas towards the end. I was already in the mood to play some other games. I'm going to give myself an opportunity to play some other games. It was always fun. I always enjoyed it. Just the rules got a little bit heavy on me. Just the looking up all the charts, doing this a lot. You do this a lot constantly. Hey, brother, you do this a lot, and then you got to go over here if you want to bunt or if you want to sacrifice. It's. I got tired of that. Let me tell you, it's a good game. It produces great results. It's a fun game. It's just hard for me to play a lot of games without playing other things. Anyway, okay. So we did that. Let's look at Seaver stats. Let's look at his stats. Let's see where I am here. End game. Oh, I got a real scary spider, dude, on my screen. And those things bite me and then, damn it. All right. Anyway, let's see if we can grab Seaver and click on him and pull him up. Let's see. Team stats. Not too good at doing this. Not too good at finding stats. Line scores, daily comparison, all reports. Comparison maybe. But it shows me all the teams. All right, let me get to. Okay. There's actually a page that compares everything. Okay. There it is. All right, perfect. And this is going to be my very, it's kind of rough. It's rough, as my dog would say. So this is Strat. This is my Seaver replay, right, for Strat now. And let's see. Let's start off with his record. You know what? I don't even remember doing record. I don't know where I have the record. I have it somewhere. I don't remember how. Oh, yeah, it was 7-19. He was 7. With APBA, he was 7 wins, 19 losses. Much better with Stratomatic. Seaver with Stratomatic. Let's see. Hold on. Let me figure out how to read this. Actual replay. Okay. All right. So his ERA, right? ERA. Let's see. His replay ERA was 2.87 replay. His actual ERA was 3.55. Okay? See if you can see that. All right. His hits. Let's do the hits. So this is the ERA. Innings pitched are exact. Innings pitched are exact. The hits. The hits are, Oh, and the Seaver in actuality was 9-14. 9-14 in actuality. Actual. In the replay, Seaver was 14-10. He did much better than he did with APBA. Much better. All right. Hit-wise, hits allowed 201 to 191 in the replay. So 191 in the replay and 201 in actuality. Home runs. Replay and actual. Home runs. Let's see. It doesn't show that there. Okay. So we're not going to do home runs yet. We're not going to do home runs yet because it's not there. But I will get home runs and fill it in. I think I remember it was, in actuality, it was 18. He had 11 in the replay because that was a little bit below. Base on balls or walks. Let's see. Replay and actuality. In the replay, Seaver allowed 85 walks. Actuality, 86 walks. Okay, so this is actual, and this is going to be replay. And then, actually, you know what? And that's very interesting because it was almost identical to APBA. Look at that. 86, well, that's the same actual. APBA, even though he pitched 20 innings less, he had 78 walks. Here he had 85 walks, almost identical. In this one, he pitched same innings, same. And I think same innings, that was 231, I believe. He may have gone 232 because he completed that last game, so I think it was 232. Finally, the strikeouts, right? Strikeouts. Strikeouts were K's, 135 to 154. So 154 replay, 135 in actuality, so he was a little bit over that. But close, right? Close enough. So anyway, those are the stats. Now, you know, there's this discrepancy in innings pitched, which I screwed up on, so you have to consider that, but I'm not going to go crazy over those 20 innings. It's hard to say which game is closer, you know, because in 20 more innings, let's say you had 10 more strikeouts, so the strikeouts were going to be more, just like Strat, the same, right? Base on balls is spot on, whereas this would have been very close because, look, he's still got 20 innings and he's 12 away. No, that's not 12, that's 8 away. So that would have been, I say that's almost spot on. So that's two that are spot on. The strikeouts and the walks. APBA and Stratomatic are almost identical. Home runs, APBA wins. And I don't know how that happens because APBA has no control over home runs. That was just luck. Okay, I got to draw a horseshoe. And there's a horseshoe. That was just luck for APBA. That's my horseshoe. All right, hits. I believe that APBA would have been a little bit higher. This was a little bit lower. That's a draw. Innings pitched, that of course. And ERA, this is interesting about the ERA. Take a look at this. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sorry, I got my big hand in there. All right, so the ERA was 70 points higher with APBA, plus 70. But here, it's like 70 points lower. So Strat is 70 points lower, and APBA is 70 points higher. And the next one is going to be payoff pitch. That's going to be interesting. And we're going to see how close payoff pitch can come to the two kings of tabletop gaming. Take care, guy. Take care, Al. So this is CP Cards and Dice. I hope you enjoyed our replay using Stratomatic Advanced. And I'm done with that for a while, and I will start playing my 76 Yankees inside pitch replay that I have going, using replay PC game and using inside pitch. I have all that here somewhere on my table. I just got to find it. So this is CP Cards and Dice. Thanks for stopping by, and stay safe. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Mets win the final game, 3-1. Seaver wins it. Wins his 14th game of the season. He goes 14-10 versus his actual 9-14. But much better than with APBA. He was 7-19 with APBA. Take care.